Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful Diwali evening. There's Hanuman Prashak Maharaj, one of our dear God brothers, is giving a lecture tonight at Houston Temple for Diwali. And they're having a big candle lit event. And Rangavati went to Diwali this weekend, Govardhan Puja too, down at Murari. And we're going to have our Diwali Govardhan Puja next Sunday, actually. We kind of have to fit it in with everybody else because there's now multiple opportunities for people. And what we found is out of 100 people that may come, if we're doing it all at the same time, we don't hardly ever get a good crowd. So what we're trying to do is work it out where everybody gets a good crowd each time. Anyway, we're working ourselves in a cooperative spirit under the guidance of our illustrious spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. So as usual, we'll start out with the prayers. Chant with me if you know. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Paristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurivani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Yadishatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Giridhara Shvasri Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So tonight is chapter 41, Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna and Balarama enter Mathura, and if we have time, we'll read the next chapter as well, the breaking of the bowl. These are wonderful adventures in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It couldn't be any better. And it's enthralling to hear these stories. So we all want heroes. And instead of having Spider-Man or Batman or something like that, we have Krishna. And Krishna is the original superhero, and he is the source of all superheroes, whoever they may be. So we say, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right. So I'll begin as usual. We have Bhavananda's got to do some reading tonight. So get him online. I'm going to read, let me see, how many's in here, Rangavati? In this first one, we've got 52. That's quite a long chapter. So we may stop there tonight. But we'll start out here, okay, with doing about 10 or 12 verses each. So as usual, I'll begin the process. Text 1, Sukadeva Goswami said, while Akrura was still offering prayers, the Supreme Lord Krishna withdrew his form that he had revealed in the water, just as an actor winds up his performance. When Akrura saw the vision disappear, he came out of the water and quickly finished his various ritual duties. He then returned to the chariot, astonished. Lord Krishna asked Akrura, have you seen something wonderful on the earth, in the sky, or in the water? From your appearance, we think you may have. Sri Akrura said, whatever wonderful things the earth, sky, or water contain, all exist in you. Since you encompass everything, when I am seeing you, what am I not seeing? I love that. And now that I am seeing you, O Supreme Absolute Truth, in whom reside all amazing things on the earth, in the sky, and in the water, what amazing things could I see in this world? With these words, Akrura, the son of Gandhini, began driving the chariot onward. At the end of the day, he arrived in Mathura with Lord Balarama and Lord Krishna. Wherever they passed along the road, O king, the village people came forward and looked upon the two sons of Vasudeva with the greatest pleasure. In fact, the villagers could not withdraw their eyes from them. Nanda Maharaj and the other residents of Vrindavan, having reached Mathura, ahead of the chariot, had stopped at a garden on the outskirts of the city to wait for Krishna and Balarama. And after joining Nanda and the others, the Supreme Lord Krishna, the controller of the universe, took humble Akrura's hand in his own and smiling spoke as follows. Who would like to read what Krishna said to Akrura? We'll go back around.
I'll read.
But my lustrous husband would like to read.
Well, that's just fabulous. Please, Bob.
Found someone I can pronounce.
He thinks there's some words he can pronounce.
Okay, are we on 11 or 10?
11.
No. Sri Akrura said, O Master, without the two of you, I shall not enter Mathura. I am your devotee, O Lord, so it is not fair for you to abandon me. since you are always affectionate to your devotee. Come, let us go to my house with your elder brother, the cowherdmen, and your companions. O best of friends, O transcendental Lord, in this way please grace my house with its master. I am simply an ordinary householder attached to ritual sacrifices, so please purify my home with the dust of your lotus feet. By that act of purification, my forefathers, the sacrificial fires, and the demigods will all become satisfied. By bathing your feet, the exalted Bali Maharaj attained not only glorious fame and unequaled power, but also the final destination of pure devotees. The water of the Ganges River has purified the three worlds, having become transcendental by bathing your feet. Lord Silva accepted that water on his head, and by that water's grace, the sons of Sagara attained to heaven.
Yeah.
O Lord of Lords, Master of the universe, O you whose glories it is most pious to hear and chant, O best of the Yadus, O you whose fame is recounted in excellent poetry, O Supreme Lord Narayana, I offer you my obeisances. The Supreme Lord said, I will come to your house with my elder brother, but first I must satisfy my friends and well-wishers by killing the enemy of the Yadu clan. Sukadeva Goswami said, thus addressed by the Lord, Akura entered the city with a heavy heart. He informed King King Kamsa of the success of his mission, and then went home. The Lord desired to see Mathura, so toward evening he took Lord Balaram and the cowherd boys with him and entered the city. The Lord saw Mathura with its tall gates and household entrances made of crystal, its immense archways and main doors of gold, its granaries and other storehouses of copper and brass, and its impregnable moats. Beautifying the city were pleasant gardens and parks. The main intersections were fashioned of gold, and there were mansions with private pleasure gardens, along with guild halls and many other buildings. Mathura resounded with the calls of peacocks and pet turtle doves, who sat in the small openings of the lattice windows and on the gem-studded floors, and also on the column balconies and on the ornate rafters of the front of houses. These balconies and rafters were adorned with Viduriya stones, diamonds, crystal quartz, sapphires, coral, pearls, and emeralds. All the royal avenues and commercial streets were sprinkled with water, as were the side roads and courtyards. The flower garlands, newly grown sprouts, gained parched grains, and rice had been scattered about everywhere. Gracing the house's doorways were elaborately decorated pots filled with water, which were bedecked with mango leaves, smeared with yogurt and sandalwood paste, and encircled by flower petals and ribbons. Near the pots were flags, rows of lamps, bunches of flowers, and trunks of banana and betel nut trees.
Okay, thank you, Bob. That was very good. Very good. Now, who wants to read next?
Shall I read since I have the mic on?
You go right ahead.
Right. The women of Mathura hurriedly assembled and went forth to see the two sons of Vasudeva. They entered the city on the King's Road, surrounded by their cowherd boyfriends. Some of the women, my dear kin, eagerly climbed to the roofs of their houses to see them. Some of the ladies put their clothes and ornaments on backwards, Others forgot one of their earrings or ankle bells, and others applied makeup to one of their eyes but not the other. Those who were taking their meals abandoned them. Others went out without finishing their baths or massages. Women who were sleeping at once rose up when they heard the commotion, and mothers breastfeeding their infants simply put them aside. The lotus-eyed Lord, smiling as he recalled his bold pastimes, captivated those ladies' minds with his glances. He walked with the gait of a lordly elephant in rut, creating a festival for their eyes with his transcendental body, which is the source of pleasure for the divine goddess of fortune. The ladies of Mathura had repeatedly heard about Krishna, and thus as soon as they saw him, their hearts melted. They felt honored that he was sprinkling upon them the nectar of his glances and broad smiles. Taking him into their hearts, through their eyes, they embraced him, the embodiment of all ecstasy, as if their bodily hands stood on end. O subduer of enemies, they forgot the unlimited distress caused by his absence. Their lotus faces blooming with affection, the ladies who had climbed to the roofs of the mansions rained down showers of flowers upon Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna. Brahmanas, standing along the way, honored the two lords with presentations of yogurt, unbroken barley corns, pots full of water, garlands, fragrant substances such as sandalwood paste, and other items of worship. The women of Mathura exclaimed, "Oh, what severe austerities the gopis must have performed to be able to regularly see Krishna and Balaram, who are the greatest source of pleasure for all mankind." Seeing a washerman approaching who had been dyeing some clothes, Krishna asked him for the finest laundered garments he had. Lord Krishna said, "Please give me suitable garments to the two of us, who certainly deserve them. If you grant this charity, you will undoubtedly receive the greatest benefit." Thus requested by the Supreme Lord, who is perfectly complete in all respects, that arrogant servant of the king became angry and replied insultingly. That's probably my 10.
Okay, Vamsi, you want to do yours?
Yes, thank you so much. 35. The washerman said, "You impudent boys, you are accustomed to roaming the mountains and forests, and yet you would dare put on such clothes as these? These are the king's possessions you are asking for. Fools, get out of here quickly. Don't beg like this if you want to stay alive. When someone is too bold, the king's men arrest him and kill him and take all his property." As the washerman thus spoke brazenly, the son of Devaki became angry, and then merely with his fingertips he separated the man's head from his body. The washerman's assistants all dropped their bundles of clothes and fled down the road, scattering in all directions. Lord Krishna then took the clothes. Krishna and Balaram put on pairs of garments that especially pleased them, and then Krishna distributed the remaining clothes among the cowherd boys, leaving some scattered on the ground. Thereupon a weaver came forward and, feeling affection for the lords, nicely adorned their attire with cloth ornaments of various colors. Krishna and Balaram looked resplendent, each in his own unique, wonderfully ornamented outfit. They resembled a pair of young elephants, one white and the other black, decorated for a festive occasion. Pleased with the weaver, the Supreme Lord Krishna blessed him that after death he would achieve the liberation of attaining a form like the Lord's, and that while in this world he would enjoy supreme opulence, physical strength, influence, memory, and sensory vigor. The two lords then went to the house of the garland maker Sudama. When Sudama saw them, he at once stood up and then bowed down, placing his head on the ground. After offering them seats and bathing their feet, Sudama worshipped them and their companions with arghya, garlands, pan, sandalwood paste, and other presentations. Sudama said, O Lord, my birth is now sanctified, and my family tree is family free of contamination. Now that you both have come here, my forefathers, the demigods and the great sages, are certainly all satisfied with me. You two lords are the ultimate cause of this entire universe to bestow sustenance and prosperity upon this realm. You have descended with your plenary expansions. Because you are well-wishing friends and supreme soul of the whole universe, you regard all with unbiased vision. Therefore, although you reciprocate your devotees' loving worship, you always remain equally disposed towards all living beings. Please order me, your servant, to do whatever you wish. To be engaged by you in some service is certainly a great blessing for everyone. Sukadev Goswami continued, O best of kings, having spoken these words, Sudama could understand that Krishna and Balaram wanted. Thus, with great pleasure, he presented them with garlands of fresh, fragrant flowers. Beautifully adorned with these garlands, Krishna and Balaram were delighted, and so were their companions. The two lords then offered the surrendered Sudama, who was bowing down before them, whatever benedictions he desired. Sudama chose unshakable devotion for Krishna, the supreme soul of all existence, friendship with his devotees, and transcendental compassion for all living beings. Not only did Lord Krishna grant Sudama these benedictions, but he also awarded him strength, long life, fame, beauty, and ever-increasing prosperity for his family. Then Krishna and his elder brother took their leave. Hare Krishna.
Whoa, that's very, very nice. Well, we can stop here and discuss it if you like. There's another chapter. Let's see how many verses are in the next chapter really quick. And I'll tell you, if it's a really long one,
That's 38.
38, yeah. It's up to you guys. I mean, we have about 30 minutes left. I mean, we can talk about this or we can go to the next chapter. What do you want to do? Let's take a vote.
Well, we could have a short one today.
Okay. All right. And then we'll save Krishna enters Mathura for next week. Yeah, that'd be fine. There's quite a few little stories in here.
For
Yeah.
breaking the bow. Yeah, that could be next week, couldn't it?
Yeah, that's next week. There's plenty more to where this came from. So, yeah, well, when I read this last verse that we're reading here together, or the last two verses, we're being shown by these great, great devotees and servants of the Lord what we should be doing. If Krishna comes to us and offers a great boon, we don't want to be like the washerman, do we? What happened to him? But he was conditioned. He was conditioned in a state of illusion to think that the king was the supreme. He didn't recognize Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be." So this washerman obviously did not understand Krishna's position or Balaram's position. Therefore, he's very offensive. And he tried to belittle them by making them feel like, oh, you're just peasant boys. You live in the country. What are you wearing these fine clothing for. This is the clothes of a king. I work for the king. Who are you? Get. He tells him, get out of here, get away. And so Krishna got very angry in that situation. So that's the washerman story in here. There's several little stories that are in here, but the story of Sudam is the opposite. Sudam welcomed the Lord, and he's a garland maker. He's making these beautiful garlands for the Lord, and he was bowing down before them. And the Lord was delighted with those fresh, fragrant flowers, garlands that he offered him with sandalwood paste, and for all different types of things that he was able to off pan, arghya, garlands, pan, sandalwood, and a lot of other presentations as well. So he was very, very happy, and he said that Krishna had sanctified his home, and his family tree was now free of all contamination, and that even the demigods, his forefathers, everybody, all the great sages, everybody's satisfied. Now that Krishna and Balaram has come to his home. So he then, because of all of these wonderful things, being beautifully adorned with these gorgeous garlands, Krishna and Balaram were delighted by it. They thought it was so cool. So they offered him whatever benediction he desired. Now, if you go throughout the Bhagavatam, you see this is always happening with Krishna. Always. Anytime somebody makes an offering to the Lord offers a benediction in return. And there are great stories about that, like Bali Maharaj and all these other stories that you'll see where Krishna appears in the sacrificial arena, and then he offers benediction to everyone there. And so this is Krishna's MO. His modus operandi is to serve the devotees. Krishna is always wanting to serve the devotees. So the devotees should always want to serve Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam 126. If you look that up, Savai Pumso Paro Dharmo, Yato Bhaktir Hokshaje, Aituki Apratiyata, Yayatma Suprasidati. It's a very beautiful verse. The supreme occupation of the Dharma for all humanity is that by which man can attain to the loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. So everything is meant for us to come to this level of service to the Supreme Lord. From whatever perspective. If you read the Nectar of Devotion, you'll find that there's all different moods that the devotees are serving the Lord in. And it's by their own proclivity, by their own desire. They're getting what they want from the Lord. The Lord is giving everyone. He's self-sufficient supplier of everything, rewarding everyone for their activities since time immemorial. But the key here is that such devotion has to be unmotivated, uninterrupted to be able to completely satisfy the self. Now, Sudam, he knew it. So what did he ask for when the Lord said, I'll grant you whatever you want? What did he ask for? The Lord says, he just wanted unshakable devotion. Unshakable devotion. And he wanted friendship with the Lord's devotees. It's like Vamsi was saying earlier. He's happy to be in the association of devotees. That's what he longed for. God was standing before him, and he asked for the same thing that we have tonight. And then he said, and he asked for to be a kind, loving, compassionate soul to all living beings. So these are the same prayers that Prahlad Maharaj prayed, that Bali prayed. If you go down the line and you look at all these great souls, they're all praying for the same thing. So we have to learn what we should be doing to please the Lord. And to do it, we have to offer unconditional, unmotivated, uninterrupted, loving service, which is our natural, constitutional position. How do we find out? What's our constitutional position? We hear from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandam, Dashyam, Atma, Nivedanam. So in the Bhagavatam, it says, Idam Bhagavatam Mama. Does anybody know this one? Param Brahma Samitam, Uttama Shloka Charitam, Chakarsa Bhagavan Rishi, Nishreshya Shya Lokashya. It means that the Bhagavatam is the actual literary incarnation of God. If you want to know God, you got to know Bhagavatam. You got to go through Bhagavatam. Where's everybody at? I don't know. They're all busy studying something else. Everything is a spark of the Lord's splendor. So you can study the spark if you want to, but if you know the source of the spark, Krishna says, by knowing my transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, you don't come back here again. You don't take birth in a material world of birth and death, but you attain to my eternal abode. He's telling Arjuna this. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is the way back home. It's the message, it's the path, it's the directions, it's the manual, it's the handbook. It's what we have to follow to be able to know God. It's compiled by the incarnation of God, Srila Vyasadeva. And it's meant for the ultimate good of all people, everywhere. It don't matter, you Baptist, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, we don't care. God is equipoised to everybody. You just heard it. Everybody, right? And he accepts whatever service you give, and he reciprocates accordingly. This is the lesson we're learning from this great Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Bhagavatam is all successful. It's all successful. There's no failure in the Bhagavatam. Even a little bit of this information can protect one from the greatest type of danger, falling down the lower mode of ignorance and into the lower species of life. So even just a little bit on the path can protect one from the greatest danger, right? So it's all blissful. It's all perfect. And it's all successful. So you're engaged in that activity this evening. God bless you for that. And whoever else may hear this in the future, hopefully you will see what a great blessed position you're in simply by hearing this information. So we're kind of going backward in this chapter instead of forward. I normally go to the first of the chapter and recap it. Now I'm going backward to the front, so it's a little weird. I don't know why I got doing that, but I'm doing that now. So let's go back to the front, okay? We'll go back to the front. So Krishna and Balarama are entering Mathura. And Krishna had appeared before Akrura in the water as four-armed Vishnu. And Akrura was completely self-realized. He went back to the chariot. Krishna was there. He said, "You looked astonished. Why? What was the matter? It looks like you might have seen something wonderful." And Akrura, he surmised the whole thing. Just like Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochiti Nakankshati. So he understood Krishna's nature as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. He understood that whole experience. And so therefore he says that when I see you, I see everything. So this is the Virata Rupa, the expansion of the Lord's separated energy in the material world. We can see Krishna in everything here. Sankhya Yoga teaches us to do that. Kapila taught us to do that. And we have to learn how to see and offer everything to Krishna, everything. Prabhupada said that for the wino, he should look at the wine and go, "What a wonderful creation you made, Lord." And he offers it to the Lord. Even though it's not in the mode of pure goodness, it's better than not doing anything at all. And this is substantiated in the Bhagavatam 2.3.10, and you guys can read it for yourself. Karma sarva kamova moksha kama udaradi divrena bhakti jogena yajanta parasamparam. Does anybody know what that one is? Very, very, very important verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We studied it in the very beginning. And it says that whether you're full of all material desires, whether you're full of it, you've heard somebody say that before, you're full of it. Well, we're full of it. We're full of material desires. Billions and billions insatiable desires. No matter how many times you're given food, you're still hungry. You ever noticed? No matter times you've had sex life and you thought, oh, this would be the ultimate, you still crave it. It wasn't satisfying. Otherwise, you'd be satisfied now and you're not. So whatever it is, people who desire fame, oh, it's a torturous disease. It's like leprosy or something, to have that disease, to want to be famous, to think that everybody is looking at you, to think you're the center of the universe. Nonsense. You're not. Krishna is. You're a small spark blown out somewhere at the edge of the fire. and you're das das anu das. You're serving the other sparks of the fire. Removed from Krishna millions and millions and millions of times. So we're reading about servants who are not removed from Krishna. They're right there with Krishna. So Krishna says whether you're full, or so, excuse me, Vyasadeva says in this particular verse that whether you're full of all material desires, or you are free from all material desires, or even if you just want liberation to get the heck out of here and be done with this birth and death, or if you just have broader intelligence, any kind of little broader intelligence, you must by all means, it says, by all, now get this, people, by all means. Okay? So when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, we're seeing all these devotees, all these people are coming to Krishna by all means. All means. I mean, you can read it for yourself. It's in every verse, every chapter, everything. You come to Krishna by all means. And that means Kamsa hated Krishna, and he came to Krishna with that way. It means the gopis lusted after Krishna, and they came to Krishna that way. It means Akrura was the servant of Krishna, and he came to Krishna that way. It means Arjuna was a friend of Krishna, and he came to Krishna that way. It means Nanda, Maharaj, and Vasudeva and Devaki wanted to be the parents of the Lord, and they came to the Lord that way. So maybe you just want to be a blade of grass and let Krishna walk on you, or a stone and let him set on you. Whatever that is, you got to give that to Krishna by all means. That's the key, that it has to be by all means. And we forget this somehow or the other, and we're I don't know. You know how fanatics can be. You know, they think it's only one way, or it's only this way, or only that way. And if you don't do it this way, you know, you got to do it my way. You know, that's what they're thinking. That's why we got 68,000 denominations and sects of religion around the world, because, you know, we're backward. Okay. And Krishna accepts all the devotional service from the devotees. Even he accepted Putana's breast smeared with deadly poison to kill him. He accepted it as an act of motherly kindness, and he delivered her after he killed her. Think about it. Go back through all these stories. There's hundreds of them where we can find out that Krishna is showing ultimate mercy to every type of dacoit, demon, rascal, devotee, demigod, beloved parent, you name it. He's doing it for every single body. So therefore, he asked him, what benedictions did you want, when he was talking to Sudam? And he gave Sudam what he asked for. He not only granted Sudam those benedictions, but he awarded him, just like he did with Prahlad Maharaj, with strength, long life, fame, beauty, ever-increasing prosperity, and so forth for his family before he took his leave. So let's go back to the beginning. Just quickly, we won't belabor this. The story is pretty quick. But what happened is along the way to Mathura, everybody is amazed. Everybody's gathering on the sides of the road, and they're offering whatever. So when they got just outside of Mathura, they stopped at a garden. And Krishna took Akrura by the hand. Could you imagine being taken by the hand of the Supreme Person and held closely? And he told him, he said, now you go ahead of us, okay? We'll join you in a little while, don't worry. And you go ahead and announce that we're coming. Well, Akrura didn't like it at all. He said, Lord, please don't abandon me. I'm your servant. I'm your devotee. How can you abandon me? The Lord was not abandoning him, but he was making the necessary arrangements to satisfy the souls of so many. Everyone in Mathura, he had to take into consideration, not just Akrura's desires. So he sent him ahead, and even though Akrura did not like that, he asked him if he would come to his home, and Krishna said, yes, I'll come to your home, but let me go kill everybody first. let me take care of some of my duty first, and then I'll come and we'll have a nice time, right? So he talks about where he wanted to place his feet in his home, and he talks about how he placed his feet on Bali's head, and how the Ganga flows over and goes on the head of Shiva. He discussed all of that, which I thought was very wonderful. So Akrura is establishing Krishna's feet, his lotus feet, as supreme. And so anyway, he had to go on. And when he got there, he told Kansa all about it, and then he went to his home, right? He was not very happy about it, actually. But then later, Krishna entered the city. They wanted to go see the city. And so, but he didn't want to be with Akrura and go through that whole process yet. He wanted to do a few little things first, deliver a few people. So let's talk about that. So when he entered the city, he noticed that the city had arches of gold, that there were beautiful moats all around, for protection, impenetrable, it said. That the mansions were beautiful, and there were pleasure gardens and exotic birds everywhere. Even it says that the palaces were adorned with valuable diamonds, emeralds, jewels, rubies. Try to imagine. Just thousands of years ago, that type of opulence existed on the earth. If you go to the temple in South India, Trivikrama, you go there are some doors there that cannot be opened in the bottom of that temple. They've opened two of the doors, and they substantiate the treasure of India. Just those two doors. There's other doors too, but you have to have the mantra to be able to open the doors, and nobody's been able to open those doors. And that's in the bottom or the basement of that beautiful temple. But there's one beautiful, gigantic, full-size form of Ananta Shesha made out of solid gold. And Krishna is laying on the bed of Ananta Shesha. Can you imagine those types of great treasures that exist in those ancient temples of the Lord? So at this time, apparently, everything was like that. The boulevards were all covered in auspicious grains and betel nuts and all types of stuff that they put out, water pots smeared with yogurt like that, and sandalwood paste, and trunks of betel trees, and all these auspicious things were all around the place, wherever they would go. And could you imagine this scene as Krishna's coming into town? So all the women. Now, Krishna has an effect on the ladies, y'all. I'm not kidding. So what happens is they just leave everything, just like the gopis left everything when Krishna was in the forest with the flute. They left everything. They would do makeup on one eye and leave the other eye with no makeup. Women don't do that, okay? So this is big time, okay? They took the baby and set it down and left. Mom, I see you smiling on that one. They just abandoned the little baby and went up on the rooftops of these mansions to see Krishna. And as they were watching Krishna, they became literally filled up with these just captivated desires to be with Krishna, right? They put everything aside. They were captivated by the Supreme Lord. Because when he entered the city, it says, like an elephant in rut. Yeah, I don't know if you know what that is, but an elephant, you don't know what that is? Okay, so when an elephant's in heat, okay, so an elephant has like a bunch of, it's like a deer, like a buck deer, they have a bunch of does. So an elephant also has kind of like his harem and his children and all this kind of stuff, and they're following the elephant. So when the elephant goes into heat, that's called rut. And so when they're stepping, it's just like very powerful. It's very like, oh, it's dramatic, shaking the earth, and he's showing his prowess in full. And the ladies are overwhelmed. So they found themselves with their belts loosened, their hair loosened, their garments automatically loosened, and they were enamored with their hair standing on end. They took the Lord into their heart, and they showered the Lord with flowers from the tops of these mansions as he walked by. All right, Bo. Pretty cool, huh? That's the effect the Lord has on us. So, he's walking along and he sees this washerman. He's thinking, this is before he even got dressed up. He's already affected everybody in this way. He didn't even have to dress up to do it. we go through elaborate costume changes and all types of stuff to attract the opposite sex. Krishna don't have to do nothing. He is the all attractive personality. All right? All beautiful, all wealthy, all powerful, all famous, all renounced. Right? So Krishna asked the washerman, hey, I see you've got some nice clothes. Washerman is arrogant. He criticizes the boys, calls them foolish boys, tells them that this belongs to the king, tells them, get out of here, get away now. So Krishna just took the fingers of his hand right here and took his head off. All the washermen's friends that worked for the king, they all dropped their bundles and left, so there's plenty of clothes for the cowherd boys Krishna is distributing. And he decorates himself in Balarama. They're looking good. Okay. So, but it's still, all it is just these garments. So he needs a little more. So he meets a weaver next. And the weaver's got all these beautiful colored cloths, and he puts bangles, and he decorates Krishna and has all types of embellishments and flags and scarves and whatever. He adorns Balarama and Krishna and the cowherd boys with all this. And he blessed the weaver for his effort, that he would have full benediction of whatever he wanted, and he would enjoy completely within the material world before he had to go back home, back to Godhead. So then Sudam, we get to Sudam. We already went over Sudam. So Sudam immediately invited them to their home. He's a garland maker. So they need a garland. Come on, they've got cloth now, they've got clothes now, they've got all this other stuff now. They're showered in flowers, but they want a garland. So they go to Saddam, and then Saddam washed their feet, worshiped them, and offered beautiful prayers to them, and then gave them garlands. And of course, they were very pleased with those garlands. And he asked for the ultimate benediction. We should all follow in Saddam's footsteps. He also asked for unshakable devotion to the Lord, and to have compassion for all living entities, and to always be associated with the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. So he offered him everything, his boon he wanted, and including all prosperity, ever increasing prosperity in the material world. So, guys, one thing you need to know is that most of these personalities that you're seeing in these stories where Krishna is there, they're all demigods. They all came to the material world to serve the Lord in this wonderful way. But we also know that many of them are chanting the Lord's glories. Many of them are saying prayers to the Lord. Many of them are calling the Lord's name. And so we know in the Bhagavatam it says, "Oh my Lord, persons who chant your holy names of the Lord, who chant your names, are far, far more advanced in spiritual life, even if they're born in the family of a dog eater." What? Even if they're born in the family of a dog eater and they chant your names, they're more advanced in spiritual life. It says, such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kinds of austerities and penances and sacrifices. They bathed in all the sacred places, and they finished with all their scriptural injunctions. That's powerful stuff, guys. Powerful stuff. We do not know who we're working with. We do not know who these devotees are. We do not know who these chanters are. We should not be offensive. They have a relationship with the Lord. We are not holier than they are. We're not better than they are. The Lord's equal to everyone. He reciprocates our devotion just like he does with them. Okay? Just like he was there for each gopi as the only one, as exclusive. They felt exclusive. Krishna's there for everyone in that situation. So once they benedicted him, they took their leave. And now the next chapter will be where Krishna breaks the bow, and he makes real short work of it. It's pretty amazing, really. This next chapter is one of my favorite chapters because he just walks in and takes over. I'm not going to give the punchline away, but just know that Kamsa's not going to do very well. I don't think the elephant who's sent to Krishna is going to do very well. I don't think Mushtaka and the other wrestlers, I don't think they're going to do very good. I really don't. I hate to say it. And even Kansa. So wait and see what's going to happen, okay? But we know that Kansa and all these guys are demons. They're sending demons to kill Krishna. They want to kill everybody. They want to kill all of Krishna's dynasty, his whole family. They want to go into Vrindavan and kill everybody. They want to kill Nanda and Yasoda. They want to kill Vasudeva and Devaki. He even wants to kill his father, who's the rightful heir, who's the rightful king, who usurped his throne and threw his own dad in jail. Now he wants to murder him too. So not a very nice guy. So they do need to get what's coming to them, no matter what. And so Krishna, he always does great things. He always does these wonderful acts so that everyone will follow. And he says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever actions are performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps. And whatever standards he sets as exemplary acts, the whole world pursues. So Krishna goes on to say in Bhagavad Gita, if I quit, even though I'm not obligated, I don't need it. There's nothing I need. I don't need any of this. We need everything from Krishna. We have nothing without Krishna, but Krishna is everything. He doesn't need us. He doesn't need anything. He said, but if I quit doing my devotional routine, if I quit, setting the example, the whole world would fall into ruination. So Krishna does not want to allow that to happen. So he sets the best example always wherever he goes. And he goes on to say, Nabudhi Bedam Janayed. You know this one? Agyanam Karma Sanginam. Josayet Sarva Karmani. Vidvam Yukta Samacharam. That's a beautiful, beautiful piece of instruction that Krishna gives in 326 in Bhagavad Gita, where he says, let not the wise disrupt the mind of the ignorant who are attached to fruitive activity, ambitions. They're attached to, materialistic goals. Don't disrupt their mind. They should not be encouraged to refrain from work, but they should be encouraged to work in the spirit of devotion. So this is our goal. At Sankirtan Devotees, this is our goal in life, is to encourage people in the way of devotion. No matter what condition that we may find them in, we should encourage them in the way of devotion, because this is what Krishna has recommended for us. And when we look at the great devotees, we're seeing that everyone is doing that. Just like Saddam said, let me have ultimate compassion for all the living entities. So Krishna is very pleased when he sees that you're being very kind to all the living entities. So we should be kind. Sometimes kind doesn't look kind. If you stop a child, you grab his hand from sticking it in a light plug, it might not look kind. You go, no. But you just saved that baby's life. So when you deliver the harsh truth to people, many times they don't like you for it. When Jesus gave the truth, they wanted to kill him, hang him on a tree. Prabhupada came, he had so many enemies. You understand? Krishna, look at the enemies he's got. Material world is a place where filled up with enemies of God. We are enemies of God. So how do we become favorable and friendly to God? Or how do we use our hatred against God and become a devotee? I mean, that's not recommended in our sampradaya, but we've seen that even Krishna accepts these different things. So, Nabudhi Bedam Janayet. Let not the wise disrupt their minds, but encourage them in the way of devotion. We should definitely be doing that. And I'm going to leave the last 2 or 3 minutes here. What, anybody's got any questions? Anything you want to ask?
Yeah.
Mom's got something. Go ahead, Mom's.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I was just trying to find out about this washerman. It seemed a little harsh. The Lord is very compassionate when it comes to people. He tolerates everyone. So it's like, oh, just because this guy didn't give him clothes, how could he have killed him? And I found out from Garga Samhita that this was the same washerman who was spreading rumors about Mother Sita in Ramayana. So this is
Wow.
Lord Ram had to send her all the way, banish her to the
Because
ashram.
of him. Because of him.
So So actually, this washerman was then repenting for spreading this rumor, and he was thinking Lord Ram should kill him. And then it so happened that he became a washerman in Dwapara Yuga, and Krishna, kind of liberated him, so that it was actually a blessing for him. Um,
Vamsi, there's so many stories like that we see. Like Kamsa was killing his own children.
yeah,
He thought he was killing
yeah.
Vasudeva and Devaki's kids, but they were his kids reincarnated. He killed every one of his own children.
So six of them.
Good golly, man. Krishna's so smart
Yeah.
when it comes to that. Well, I didn't know that. Garga Samhita, you found that. What a wonderful thing. God, Vamsi, you're always so wonderful bringing that.
No, I just searched for it. I'm not reading Garga Samhita. Maybe one day I can. Thanks to you,
That's
I'm
nice
reading
that you
Bhagavatam.
searched and found it out, though. To bring that information is very, very nice, So I just wondered, I was looking to see if there was any purport in that particular, but after Prabhupada finished writing, there's not so many purports we don't see with Prabhupada's disciples. They don't really take that position so much. So you don't get as many purports. In some cases you do, but not so much.
Yeah.
So you kind of just got to do your own research, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you doing that very much, Vamsi. You're a delight,
Oh,
Mr. Wally. You are the light.
Actually, when we went for the Sadhu Sangha, there was this whole set as big as the Bhagavatam of Garga Samhita. They like one of the devotees took that service to translate the Sanskrit, and they were selling that there. So it is.
We should all be reading that, the Garga
Mm,
Samhita. Yeah,
mm.
there's so many wonderful additional books. Prabhupada did caution us a bit not to read too many books.
Yeah, yeah.
Certainly you have to study Srimad Bhagavatam. You have to study
Mhm.
Chaitanya Charitamrita. You have to study Bhagavad Gita. You have to study Upanishad. You have to study Nectar of Devotion. I mean, there's a few books that Prabhupada said are mandatory for us, but
Yeah,
then you have to be a little careful because our interpretations, it's hard to
yeah.
say. Hard to say.
Mhm. Right, right.
But nonetheless, I mean, we've gotten some nectar from this chapter, and the timing was perfect. I don't think we could have done this recap and
Mhm.
then the next chapter either tonight
Yeah.
and finished in time. So it's 8:03, Ranga. You were late getting here, rascal.
Mhm.
Rascal.
Yeah, it's just as well. It's just as well you messaged me. I thought, what's he on about? I shouldn't say.
You guys are a great blessing to me, and I appreciate your prayers always. Please ask Krishna to confer his mercy on me, man. I need all I can get. I'm trying to spread this Krishna consciousness movement with the last little bit of life I have, and I really need your energy to be able to really accomplish anything. So, and sometimes it's daunting task, and sometimes it seems very successful, other times not. But the point is, it's all successful. We just read that. If we're studying Bhagavatam, we're doing Krishna Kata, and that's what we're doing. It's for the world to see. I mean, we're not out here creating nonsense and just saying schisms and isms and making up philosophy. We're just talking about what Prabhupada said. We're talking about what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, and we're reading what Vyasadeva said in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's all perfect. It's eternal. It's blissful. It's liberating. It is the perfection of our life. And by all means, it says, all means, we should get Krishna. So, you know, I've got a little habit that I do. It's kind of where Krishna says, wherever the mind wanders due to its restless and flickering nature, one should bring it back under the control of the self. He says that in Bhagavad Gita. And that's a hard call. Now, you guys may be expert at it, but what happens is you're riding along and your mind is distracted by a billboard or by something, or somebody said something, somebody comes on the news, or there's an incident, or you see something in the world, you forget Krishna for a moment. And you're like, oh no, please, Krishna, don't allow me to forget. Allow this to remind me of you. Whatever it is that my deviation was, at least let it remind me of you. Somehow bring my mind back to seeing that all of this is under your auspices and that you're in control of all of this. So when you do like that and you realize that, maybe you're not perfect, but you're asking the Lord to not only forgive you for the incident, but to correct you and to redeem you and to rectify you and to bring you under his care and fold so that you don't stray and your mind doesn't deviate. You want to stay in samadhi all day and all night long. Just like Kamsa was in samadhi because he was having drink. No, he was. He was in unfavorable samadhi. That's all there is to it. And Krishna has a way of doing that because he takes up all the air in the room. Wherever Krishna goes, he's like the elephant in rut. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, here comes the monarch." Because Krishna has all potencies in full, of which no one is equal to nor greater than. We have to keep all these things in mind. Wherever our mind is going, see that as Krishna, 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 Krishna. Here is Krishna everywhere. We don't see anything but Krishna. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whatever it is. Like Vamsi, you look at your little baby, you can see Krishna. See what I mean? So whatever it is, you give it to Krishna, go, I offer this to you, Lord. Somehow or another, you've given me this gift. Let me offer it back to you. And let me do everything within my power to perfect this according to your desire. And then you're all good. You're all good. You're on the bhakti train, man. You're on the way back home. Next stop.
Yeah.
I did both.
I use my Krishna tattoo.
Oh,
Wherever I go, in whatever situation I am, I see Krishna because on my arm.
yeah.
It reminds me.
You have branded yourself.
I
as
branded
Krishna.
myself.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna and
Branded
Krishna.
for the Lord.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it reminds me all the time. I'm getting Govinda on
Oh
his
my goodness.
next
It's kind of like Ranga. What I used to do is I'd take my palm and I'd write the answers on my palm.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I'd go in and I'd look at him, a teacher come by and go, "Here's the wash rag."
Yeah.
You got to get it off. So you kind of got to remember Krishna anyway, no matter what. Okay?
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a tattoo, you still have to do it.
Yeah.
But guys, y'all are great. And this has been a fun time tonight. It's always fun hearing about Krishna. And just some of the verses that stood out in my mind regarding this chapter, please hold them in your own mind and heart and see the benefit of all of that because this whole thing culminates in the supreme occupation, which is Sanatan Dharma, Bhagavad Dharma. And that is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Is there anything else to be said? I don't think so. I mean, unless you got something else you want to add, I'm leaving it right there.
All right. Hari Bol.
Y'all like that?
Krishna, really good. Really good for a Tuesday night.
Pretty good. Pretty good for a lame old Tuesday night because Vamsi's here and Bhavananda's here and Ranga's here. We got the A team, buddy. Come on now, we got the A team with us.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
How auspicious that is.
It's an auspicious day, yes.
Oh my God.
Today's the same day Krishna did the Damodar Leela is also what I heard. So both Ram comes to Ayodhya and Krishna did the actual Damodar Leela happened on this day.
Wow.
Today is the day to offer lambs if we have not been doing that.
And we spoke about the clothsman who lost his head because he had betrayed Sita.
Yeah.
Spread all those was ghosting her and everything, whatever it's called. Yeah. So it's all connected, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we chant Hari Ram every day, and we chant Hari Krishna every day. And we never want to forget. And Hare, Mother Hare, is Sita and Radha. So we know that. So we're connected with them as long as we're connected with the holy name of the Lord. And so one should always be either chanting the name of the Lord, being involved in one of the 9 devotional processes, and you can do that all day. And if you don't have lamps and you don't have money and you don't have a big house, you don't have all that stuff, you can do it in your mind. Vasudev did that in the prison cell where he offered thousands of decorated cows with golden ornaments filled with milk bags and all this kind of stuff, all fully decorated. He offered all that to the Brahmins in his mind. while he was in the prison.
Mm.
That's real devotion. It's called Manasa Seva. You need to look into it.
Mm.
You can serve the Lord with your thoughts too. That's energy. And I just listen to this one last little funny thing. I was reading today that the Russians have proven that, and they've done this scientifically, that whatever you think sends some electric messages directly to your DNA. And your DNA is enlivened somehow by these desires that you have. And through that messaging to the DNA is the source of a kind of a creation. That's where the life is in that DNA. And some people regard it as the Kundalini Shakti. They regard it as this coiling snake, and so forth and so on. So they said that is everything that you think, your body, mind, soul, everything combines together to try to bring it to bear. It may not have an instant impact. In some cases it does. In some cases it may take many, many lifetimes for you to achieve that, whatever that goal is that you're sending to your heart, really. And if you keep the right messages and keep them positive and keep them going, then you'll attract the Lord, because he's attracted by that loving devotion and that goodness of heart. You see how he does that with everybody. He's very, very moved by it. He took a Krura by the hand and held it. And they washed his feet. That's the devotee. So think about it. The Lord wants to serve us, and we have to learn to serve him again. And we've left here to not do service to him, but instead to the five senses, which include the mind, by the way. So you got to control that mind, guys. You can do it by Krishna Kata and by one of the 9 devotional processes. So keep that in mind. And thank you guys so much.
Hare Krishna.
Repeat after me. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare
Hare
Rama.
Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare
Hare
Rama.
Rama
Rama.
Rama.
Rama
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Bo.
Hare. Hare Bol.
We'll go next time, okay? Same place, same station.
Yeah.